After the tea, after her, I do not retreat. I don diligence like a mask, the one sewn with the smile of Lord Caelin and stitched in borrowed silk. The castle breathes secrets, and now I listen. Every corridor becomes a corridor of intent. Every guard, every whisper, every locked door, I watch. Catalogue, measure. If I cannot control my heart, I will damn sure control everything else.
Not often you lose your footing, Zevir.
I froze. Every muscle in my body goes taut. Not surprised, not afraid, just ready. I don't turn just yet.
That pin looks ridiculous on you.
I threw it.
Then someone put it back. You always did underestimate how things cling to you.
There he is, leaning casually against a crumbling archway, half shadowed by ivy. Aurel. His build is leaner now. The scar along his cheek has aged. But the eyes, God's those eyes, still gleam with that same knowing, like he's already read the next 4 moves. He flicks a piece of lint from his sleeve, like he owns the palace.
You look comfortable, soft, almost didn't recognize you.
Then your eyesight's gone to shit.
Ah, there you are.
How did you get in?
How did you? Oh, wait. Right. You were given an invitation, a name, a pretty lapel pin. Some of us had to crawl through gutters and slit throats to make our way in.
My eyes narrow. The dagger on my hip is sheathed, but not forgotten. Why are you here?
Why are you? You were supposed to kill her, not linger. Ah, she's gotten into your head. I should have known. Always did like dangerous women.
You came all this way to lecture me.
No, I came to remind you what you are, what you were sent to do. You're not the only whisper in this palace anymore, Zevir. And if you hesitate again, if you forget why you're here, I'll make sure the next message doesn't come folded. It'll come in blood.
He's gone before I can respond. Only the note remains. I don't pick it up. Not yet. Aurel fades into the corridor's deeper dark. The air is too still. The silence is heavy with what was not said. I don't move. I watch the place Aurel stood, like it might speak again. The breeze shifts. A scent. Heather. Smoke. Old velvet. It shouldn't be here, but memory never asks permission. Castle Drelvin, Duchess Mavelin, the Stone of Vorix. A relic whispered to belong to the god of endings. Not for beauty, not for wealth, for power. We weren't sent to steal a trinket. We were sent to tilt the balance of kingdoms. I was younger, my smirk sharper, my confidence less earned. Cloaked in false nobility and a sharp-tongued charm, I sip wine with Mavelin, while Aurel lurks nearby, silent, watching everything.
Don't get too close.
Oh, why not? She likes me.
She also poisoned her first husband and turned his skin into a prayer book.
Cut to the bedchambers. Runes glow faintly beneath satin sheets. I touch the relic, a chime. Light flares, and my eyes widen. Alarms, screams, flames. I run, shirt bloodied, relic in hand. Aurel is already there with his dagger in a throat, cool and vicious.
You were supposed to wait.
I had it! It was one mistake!
One mistake in the wrong castle gets you buried under the damn stone.
We flee through catacombs, shouts echoing, arrows flying. A blade catches my ribs, and I grip my teeth to keep running. When we burst into the heather fields beyond, I collapse with the stone pulsing in my hand, flashing a faint green with every pulse. Like the stone has a heart. Return to present, still in the palace corridor. I exhale. My fingertips twitch toward that scar on my ribs. The scar still aches when the air changes. As Aurel's voice glimmers from memory.
Keep your mask on, Zevir.
Virelya, Aurel, the guild, the stone, the woman in white, myself. Just for a moment, the idea flickers. What if I stopped pretending? What if I stopped playing every side? What if I just chose? My hand clenches. No, not yet. I straighten my collar and smooth my jaw. Then I just walk toward the queen who commands shadows, and maybe, just maybe, sees me too clearly.
The moon spilled silver across the arched windows, cool and distant. But inside, candlelight burned gold, too warm, too alive, like a heartbeat that refused to still. I stood before the long mirror, my back rigid, my face unreadable. But my eyes glowed faintly now. Just a shimmer, just enough to betray the change beginning. I could feel Elisee inside my bones, like something ancient unfurling beneath my skin. Every hour it grew stronger. Every breath threading light through my muscles, every heartbeat tingling with power I hadn't summoned and didn't want. Tomorrow night, that's when it will happen. I always know now when to expect it. A mask would fall, my voice would soften, my aura would glow like sun through morning mist. Except no one would see it. I slammed my palm into the stone table, hard enough to rattle the inkwell. Damn this timing. Damn her for showing up now. Damn the Borderlands and their smoke signals. And damn Elisee for being so fucking, I don't know, luminous? My reflection flickered, my eyes pulsing brighter for a beat. Elisee always came quietly, gently. It was Virelya who raged. I paced the chamber once, twice. If they knew, if the court truly knew the extent of my transformation each moon cycle, and the way my power twisted, the divine pull, the tears I never showed, they would never follow me. Or worse, they would crown me as a saint, and saints died young. But I was tired of dying in pieces. I paused at the edge of the firelight, eyes dark, mind racing. Then, clarity. My lips parted. A whisper of strategy slipped through. Why hadn't I thought of this sooner? I turned sharply, dragging open a scroll and writing fast, words like blades. By decree of the Queen, as I enter sacred withdrawal for divine communion, the crown will pass, temporarily, to the Queen Mother, Calyndra of the Drelvan line as regent. Let her have the taste. Let the court watch her every move. Let them weigh her with the same eyes they used to dissect me. Let Calyndra feel the throne, not as a seat of vanity, but as a burden. And if she faltered, well, all the better when I would return as the radiant savior. I'll give you your chance, Mother. But if you so much as flinch, the crown will bury you. I seal the scroll with wax and press my ring with the royal crest onto it. The ring's impression still cooled in the wax when the door opened without a knock. Only a polite tap as it swung. I didn't look up. Aurel.
My queen, you always did recognize my footsteps.
You're late.
Or right on time. I can see that you've been busy.
My eyes flicked toward him. What do you have? Aurel folded his hands behind his back, letting the pause hang for effect.
Lord Caelan's movements today, as requested. He spent an hour on the upper terrace after tea, alone. No visitors, pensive. Removed his lapel pin, scorpion-shaped, by the way, and threw it to the floor. Left it there.
I gave a slight nod, nothing more, but it was enough.
He was later seen in the west corridor, and stopped briefly near the chapel hall. Looked in, but didn't enter. Then down into the servants' wing. No direct interaction with staff. I believe he was thinking, or unraveling, hard to say. And then he spoke with me.
That earned a look. You, I said. Why? Aurel only smiled.
You wanted someone close to him, did you not?
I wanted eyes, not entanglements.
Sometimes they're the same thing.
He pulled a small, folded parchment from his sleeve and laid it on the desk.
Here are his scheduled sparring hours. Who he speaks with in the kitchens. What he drinks when no one's watching.
I picked up the parchment and scanned it briefly. Then I looked up. Is he dangerous? Aurel's expression didn't change, but something cold shimmered behind his eyes.
To you, my queen, always.
I studied him for a moment longer, then set the parchment down and folded my hands atop it. And what of the court? Have you heard anything about Lord Caelan? Aurel's brow lifted slightly, a flicker of amusement dancing at the corner of his mouth.
Are you asking if people are whispering his name in their wine? Yes, they are. The noble women think he's exotic.
Aurel continued, circling the desk like a falcon that knew better than to strike.
Charming, dangerous, a touch of scandal wrapped in silk. The men, those who don't trust what they can't dominate, think he's a threat or a toy, depending on their mood and their wine.
And the council?
They've noticed you watch him.
That was answer enough. Aurel slowed his steps, coming to rest beside the desk once more.
Do you believe him loyal?
I didn't answer. Not aloud. My fingers tightened slightly around the edge of the parchment. Instead, I reached for a different scroll, sealed with black wax, its ribbon marked by my own personal crest, and another stamped with the golden seal of the Royal Council. Please give this to the steward of my mother, and this is a copy for the council. Aurel took them without comment. We'll make the announcement tomorrow at the next council session. Ensure my mother is in the chamber when the meeting begins.
Of course, my queen.
You're dismissed. He bowed, deeper this time, and turned to leave. And as the door clicked shut behind him, I finally exhaled.
Did the gods send you to warm my bed or poison it?
Why not both?
You're late. She named me Regent at twilight. No ceremony, no trumpets, just a scroll wrapped in wax and insult.
That's how queens give away kingdoms, quietly, in the dark, while no one's looking.
She thinks this will break me. Let me flounder under her crown, but what she forgets is that I was born under one.
And what will you do with it, your majesty of moonlight?
Hold it, squeeze it, feed it to the wolves, and watch who comes running.
Dangerous talk for someone still tangled in the sheets.
Dangerous company for someone sent to watch the queen's little pet.
You think I'm loyal to Virelya?
I think you're loyal to the game, and I'm the one holding your peace. She doesn't see you yet, not for what you are.
Don't tell me you do.
I do. That's why I keep you close.
Then I suppose you're the only one who should fear me.
Oh, darling, I do. Let Viregrave sleep. For now, the beast beneath this crown has sharper teeth than they remember.
I stand bare-chested before a gilded mirror. I run a cloth over my jaw, slow and precise, then dips it back into the basin. My movements are methodical, controlled. The man in the glass stares back at me, clean, composed, unreadable. I'd almost lost myself. Not to love, not to loyalty, to comfort. The softness of silk sheets, the weightless ease of being invited. Privilege had its perks, and its seductions. But now the Queen would vanish, disappear into whatever divine communion meant. The whispers of her sacred bloodline, the hush in the halls when she grew quiet. Where does she go? Why is no one ever allowed to follow? I pause as I catch the faint outline of the scar etched along my ribs. My fingers brush it without thinking. Castle Drelvin. The Duchess's guards. Steel, smoke and blood. That was the price of hesitation. The mirror catches a flicker of something in my eye. Not doubt. Not yet. It would be the perfect moment to strike. No guards, no walls. Just the Queen, alone in her quiet sanctum. Or Calyndra would rise, and if she sat the throne, then all attention would turn toward her, including mine, including the guilds. And gods knew, Calyndra wasn't Virelya. She could be seduced, manipulated, ruled from behind the veil, if one knew how to stroke the ego properly. Pursue the Queen, or charm the serpent. Viregrave doesn't need a war, but it might just get one. The Grand Council chamber always smelled of ink, sweat, and old power. Even beneath the scented oils burned in the wall sconces, the scent of history, of ambition, clung to the stone like a shadow. I entered with quiet confidence, boots silent across the tile. I took my seat, not in the central circle of High Lords, but just off to the side, a place for special advisors, noble retainers, and other useful weapons. I preferred it that way. You can see more from the edges. The chamber was already half full, lords and ladies murmuring in tight clusters, scrolls unrolled, seals broken, but all of it was noise compared to the moment that came next. The royal trumpeter announced the Queen, but it was not Virelya who entered. It was Calyndra, draped in gold that caught the light like a dagger's edge, hair perfectly styled, lips a shade too dark, eyes alight with something feral and victorious. Well now, she strode to the throne without hesitation. The Regent's circlet, a lighter, lesser crown, was already in the steward's hands. Virelya, notably, was absent. The council began to murmur. A few stood, a few exchanged looks that dripped with worry. Calyndra raised her hand.
Let it be known that Her Majesty Virelya has entered sacred divine retreat, and by her will, signed, sealed, and confirmed, I now serve as Queen Regent.
The steward stepped forward and read the decree. Aurel stood nearby, expression unreadable, but I caught the faintest twitch at the corner of his mouth. The silence after the proclamation was thick. No applause, no cheers, just the uncomfortable weight of shifting power. I leaned forward slightly. My voice, when it came, was quiet, but cut through the hush like the sharpest of blades. Well, it seems the throne has developed a taste for recycled royalty. Calyndra's smile didn't falter, but her eyes froze for half a second. Aurel twitched, but didn't move. I logged it all. Calyndra's gaze settled on him like a snake deciding whether to strike.
Clever tongue, Lord Caelyn. I imagine that serves you well in many places.
Only where it's not immediately cut out. Calyndra smiled wider. Aurel blinked slowly, once. There it is, I thought. Pressure, reaction, intent. I leaned back in my chair, heart steady, gaze sweeping the room. The game had changed, and everyone in the room was bluffing. I sat with one leg crossed over the other, fingers draped loosely over the curve of the armrest, the picture of courtly grace. I twirled the stem of an empty wineglass idly between my fingers while proclamations were read aloud. But behind this smile, my eyes were cataloguing everything. Lady Veron won't stop wringing her gloves. Fear. Lord Tellin is sidling closer to the Regent's chair. Opportunist always was. The merchant lords? Silent. Too silent. Waiting to see if the wind changes direction. And Aurel? Aurel stood like a sculpture near the dais, hands behind his back, face carved from court stone. He didn't move, didn't blink, but I could feel his gaze tracking me. The guild knows, or suspects, that I'm hesitating. A slow breath. No one reacts that quickly unless they've been waiting for the moment to come. Queen Regent Calyndra's voice flowed through the chamber like warmed wine. A new grain route to the southern provinces. A hearing scheduled for the Iron Border emissary. An audience request from the word priests of the marshlands. I let it wash over me, smiling faintly at nothing in particular. She's overperforming. Too eager. Too confident, like a woman playing queen after a lifetime rehearsing in the mirror. The room felt off. Not wrong, just waiting. Like a collective breath hadn't yet been exhaled. The council had recessed, and predictably, the nobles bled into the parlour, as they always did, desperate for sugar, scandal, and somewhere to whisper safely. I arrived fashionably late. Not too late to miss the Queen Regent's entrance, but late enough to avoid being roped into boring conversation. I wore the same easy smile, the same disarming air. I accepted a cup of tea I wouldn't drink, took a bite of a honey-drenched biscuit I'd later discard, and again watched. Calm, cool, coiled. The doors to the parlour burst open with a flourish, the sharp crack of polished wood echoing against the marble floors. Gasps and startled laughs flitted through the room. Queen Regent Calyndra entered like a storm gilded in gold, her gown sweeping behind her like a coronation banner, her neckline daring, her crown nestled ever so slightly off-centre, in a way that said, "I didn't plan this, but don't I wear it beautifully?"
Hello, everyone. I do hope no one minds if I join you for tea and cakes.
She strolled in, arms open, like a priestess bestowing grace.
Unlike my daughter, I prefer to mingle with the court. After all, who are we? But the ruling ones,
Polite applause bubbled through the parlour. Nobles half rose, some bowing too low, others smiling too wide. She kissed fingers and touched arms, accepting compliments with a purring humility that gleamed with calculated pride. And then her eyes landed on me. Lord Caelyn, sitting comfortably in the corner with my untouched tea, posture casual, expression unreadable. The man with the voice sharp enough to draw blood in council. Her smile widened.
Lord Caelyn.
She said, extending her hand. The whole parlour watched. I stood with smooth precision, masking the coil of tension in my chest, and bowed low to brush a kiss against her hand. Keep the mask on. The words hissed in my mind like a drawn blade.
I should like to sit with you today, seeing as how you have the bravado to jest about recycled royalty. Surely you won't mind this recycled queen decorating your table?
The tea service resumed under a tide of courtly murmur. The nobles, now at ease, turned back to their cakes and whispers. She took her seat beside me with practiced grace. A server poured her tea. She didn't thank them.
You have a poet's tongue, Lord Kylen, and a soldier's stillness. Not a combination I see often.
It's the North. The wind teaches economy, and wit is the only thing that stays warm.
Oh, I do enjoy the sound of clever men lying.
My smile didn't falter, but my grip on the cup tensed.
You've been in many courts, haven't you? Not just ours. The way you watch the room, it's practiced, studied. You don't just attend power, Lord Kylen. You study it. Like a man measuring a target.
There it was. Just sharp enough. Just personal enough. And said so gently it could almost be a flirtation. Almost. Observation keeps a man alive.
Survival is such an underrated skill at court.
She leaned in, voice like lace and smoke, just for me.
Especially for those of us who don't always wear the name we were born with.
Then she bit into her cake like nothing had happened. The taste of tea soured on my tongue. I didn't blink. Didn't look away. I took a slow sip, watching her over the rim, like I was drinking venom and needed to savor it. Did she know? Or was she bluffing? Or worse, had Aurel fed her just enough truth to let her guess? I let silence become my shield. Across the room, a lady laughed too brightly. A lord spilled a drop of cordial. Nobility played their part in a theatre already on fire. I turned back with a smirk. Ah, but if none of us wore the names we were born with, Your Grace, wouldn't that make all of us liars by design?
Court was built by liars, and ruled by the best ones. I'd wager you're quite good at lying, aren't you?
I'm exceptional at it, but never without purpose. Her lips parted a breath wider. She liked that. We were circling now, not lovers. Predators. Just as the dance between them neared crescendo, the parlor doors opened again with ceremony. 2 palace servants pushed in a wheeled tray draped in crimson silk. Upon it, a towering confection, glittering with gold leaf and sugared figs, beside a display of rare fruits, starberries, frost grapes, and pale citrus. Gasps followed. Calyndra stood with actress timing, hand on her chest in false surprise.
Ah, here it is. Please accept this small token of good faith from me, of course as thanks for your unyielding loyalty and your uncoerced servitude to the crown.
Nobles rose like bees to honey. I smiled faintly, desperate for adoration, and willing to buy it in sugar and spectacle. Perfect. No one noticed as I stood. No one heard the quiet click of my boots. While the court clamoured for Calyndra's sweetness, the blade slipped away, back into shadow. I passed through the archway with a final glance. She was watching the room like she owned it. She didn't see me leave, but Aurel might have. And if he did, he wasn't smiling anymore. In Viregrave, power never walks alone. It watches, it waits, and it remembers.